What's going on, you bad motherfuckers? Welcome back to another episode of Thoughts from the Toilet. And as always, this podcast is brought to you by Home Cooking Delivered, the fresh home-cooked food delivery service in and around Southampton. So if you want feeding up and you don't feel like cooking, then check out their Facebook by searching Home Cooking Delivered or by going to their website www.homecookingdelivered.net. Next Generation Martial Arts in Shamrock Key Marina, Southampton pride themselves on being Southampton's most friendly mixed martial arts gym. You can head over to their website www.ngma.co.uk to sign up for your first free session and try something new today. Strength and Performance Southampton are a state-of-the-art gym located between West End and Fair Oak in the Southampton area, and they can help you lose fat or gain muscle or maintain where you are at or just improve your health and nutrition. And you can find them by searching Strength and Performance Southampton on Facebook and Instagram. Depression, anxiety and mental health has become a very taboo subject in today's era, and that's a damn shame considering the day and age we're in and how many people are suffering with depression and anxiety and are not speaking out. Mission Mental Health is a podcast brought to you locally from Southampton, and my friend Sam is discussing everything, the ins and outs of depression, anxiety and mental health. He's sharing his stories with you guys, and he's hoping for people to open up to him as well and put all the cards on the table so that it doesn't become such a taboo subject anymore. So search Mission Mental Health on Facebook and keep up to date with his podcast. Now, let's get involved.
I'm just sitting on your front porch, wondering how could I be so far from my home? And my mind is somewhere else, but when I find it, I'll patch up where it's been blown. Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take a little time for me to set that parking brake and let myself unwind. Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song. I will sing it just for you.
That right there is my 2018 motivational summer song. That is Bishop Gunn with their hit single Shine, and that for me is the song of the year. Every time I hear it, I just get motivated. I think it's such a great song, and I'm motivated as fuck at the moment anyway. I'm 10 kilos of body mass lighter than what I was in April, so I've been working hard on that. I've been training hard, just working hard at everything, motivated to succeed. And I think everybody should be motivated to succeed in some roundabout way. But other people's perception of success is very different. Someone's success could be, waking up and getting out of bed in the morning. That could be a successful day to some people. Other people's success could be making £100,000 in one day. But the fact of the matter is we're all different and we all have a different perception of success. But I think as long as we all stay motivated and strive for whatever success we want and whatever success or whatever we deem as successful, as long as we're all pushing for that and making ourselves the best version of ourselves possible, then I don't think a lot can go wrong. Because, something's got to change. Because the way we are as a race at the moment is not good. I touched on it the other day. We're thinking about it a lot. How much we must miss. I think about this so much. How much we must miss by looking through our phone screens. You go to a concert or something now, and everyone is looking at what they paid to see through a phone screen. Or if you go on social media, it's just people documenting a whole night out. And I think we're missing so much as a race, and we are isolating ourselves as beings, I suppose, because we're becoming very, very what's the word, like individual, because now we don't need to speak to people, because why would you need to speak to someone when you can text them? When we were younger, obviously different age groups have different memories, but when I was younger, I didn't have a mobile phone to be able to text my friend or ring my friend. We had a house phone and we had phone boxes, but if you wanted to go and speak to your friend, you'd have to go to their house and knock their door. But obviously then things changed. We got like online messenger, like MSN, stuff like that, and then mobile phones started to come out, and then it spiraled out of control. And now children growing up now won't ever know any different other than having a mobile phone or having a tablet or having something like that. I remember one guy at our school, one guy I used to hang around with, he got a pager, and that was like the best thing ever to us. Like, he'd wear it on his belt, and it would vibrate or beep, and he would read the message, see who it was from. Obviously he couldn't reply, but it would be like, "It's your mum, come home now, dinner's ready," or "You're grounded, you're not supposed to be out." But worst case scenario, somebody could get hold of you and you could then go to the nearest phone box to make a call or something like that. Or if you're at your friend's house, you could use their house phone. But kids nowadays will know no different than just having a mobile phone. And something has to change, because otherwise we're going to I'm afraid we're going to delete ourselves from the gene pool, because we're going to become just a band of morons. It's already happening in some places. Some people are just, they're breathing, but that's it, really. That is about it. But as long as we all stay motivated, as long as we all have a goal in our head and we all stay motivated and we push towards that goal, we push to become 1% better. We don't settle for mediocrity. We refuse mediocrity. We smash the boundaries of mediocrity and we push for our goal. Then things can only get better, for sure. Because, looking at life through a phone screen is not good for us. I'm a big believer in, if you go out with your family or friends, for like an eating out, some dinner or some drinks or whatever, even if you're just round, someone's house or just in their company and you've planned to be in their company, I don't think you should have your phone out. If we go out for dinner with family or friends, my phone stays at home. My phone won't leave the house with me. Hannah will have her phone, but I will not have my phone, because I don't want that distraction there. I don't want to be the guy who's out of his friends or family and he's got his head in his phone the whole time, missing out on conversation. And at times like Christmas and birthdays and stuff, we are all on our phones, as always. How much must we miss? Like, we've got young children in our family. I'm pretty sure every family out there has got young children in their family. And then when something good is happening to them, in their eyes, we're missing it because we're looking for a phone. I remember once seeing a young family walking down the road, and it was a mother and she had a son in the pushchair and a daughter sort of walking behind, and the mother was just shouting at the daughter, "Hurry up, you're making me late, hurry up, come on, hurry up." And the daughter saying, Mum, look. And the mum wasn't looking back. She was saying, "You're making me late, come on, keep moving, move." But what that mother missed was that the young girl had hand-picked some flowers for her and wanted to give them to her mum. But in her mum being in a rush and not stopping to take the time and listen to what her daughter was saying, she missed out on that opportunity. And things like that will have a negative effect on children. And that is why we have serial killers. Because they grow up neglected, unloved. What have they got to love? They don't know any different. So why not go out on a rampage? So find a goal. is what I'm saying. Motivate yourself, motivate other people. This become a better race together, because we need to work together, because individually we're amazing, individually we're strong, but imagine all of us amazing individuals sort of collated into one big army. But thank you all for being here with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you're all enjoying the weather. Where we are in the UK at the moment is having some fantastic weather. Sort of high 20s and early 30s, and I'm not sure what that is if anyone's listening from any other countries who use sort of Fahrenheit. I can only imagine it's high, but it's hot. The weather's lovely, it's beautiful, and there's no reason not to be motivated. Whatever crap you have or whatever shitty thing is going on in your life, you've got to look outside and you've got to stop and smell them roses, because it's life's short at the end of the day. So let's appreciate what's before us, enjoy this beautiful weather, which is a natural antidepressant, and let's just start spreading love. I just don't get, I know like everyone's fighting a battle which you may not know about, but I just don't understand how people can, sort of waste the time we've got and the weather that we've got. I want to be outside at every given opportunity, and I don't even do well with the heat, to be honest. But still, I'm out there, I'm doing stuff in the garden, I'm walking around, I'm barbecuing in my pants. This evening, Hannah and I, just us two, had a barbecue, and I was cooking in my pants because I can, because it's my garden, and the weather is giving me the okay to do so. And talking of my garden, what happened the other day took me a little bit out of my comfort zone. We live in a mid-terrace house, which for those who aren't estate agents means you have people living the other side of the walls, both ways. And we're always friendly to them, to our neighbours. We always say, hello, how are you? How's your day? Just common sort of pleasantries. Again, something that is missing from today's era and society. But what happened the other day made me a little bit unnerved. What happened was, for no, I won't say for no reason, because there obviously was a reason for it, but totally out of the blue, one of our neighbours popped their head over our fence whilst Hannah was in the garden. The back fence, I'm talking, the compounded fences, the compounded security. They popped their head over the fence and said, hello. And I know that is pleasant, I know that is polite, but I feel like the back garden or the backyard is our space. The front garden and the drive is fair game. There's no physical divide, but there's a physical divide in our back garden, and that was sort of, I felt like it was a sort of encroachment into our personal space. But our neighbour didn't mean anything by it. They're just being very pleasant. It's just me being a bit of a goat with that, really. But I just didn't expect it. I suppose maybe I've just got to the point in time where I just don't expect people to talk to one another at all anyway. I've gone to the extremity now. I'll do a podcast, I sit and talk to myself just to get a conversation. Because, me and Hannah talk. Me and Hannah have some very good conversations, but that's as far as my conversation goes. I don't really talk to anybody else on a daily basis. So conversation is dying out, and that's a shame, because conversation is a great thing. And if you really think about it, we're all individuals, like genetically, mentally, we're all absolutely individual, but we are all where we are because of conversation and because of learning. When we were children, when we were babies, we'd listen to our parents talk. That's how we picked up on words and dialect, and that's how conversation has developed us as people. Imagine a world where you're a child and no one's talking, and you've got nothing to learn from. And I'm well aware that conversation or speaking is just literally speaking is just listening to what other people are saying and repeating the noise. Because as a child, you don't know what them words mean, but you start to pick up the context, and then you repeat the noise, and that noise that comes out of your mouth is a word. It's a conversation. So conversation is a very important piece of life, and we're letting that get away. But when my neighbour popped their head over the fence, it sort of took me by surprise, and I'm sure it took Hannah by surprise as well. But no harm done, no hard feelings. But that's sort of our guard. That's our safe space. That's our go-to space. So if there's a physical divide there, maybe let's not talk. Let's wait till we get out on the driveway and exchange pleasantries there. But they'll still get a Christmas card from us. I'm not that neighbour. I'm not that guy. But sometimes you just got to appreciate a bit of privacy. But my point is, conversation is a very, very important piece of life. It's a very big part of learning how we live. So if you ever want to have a conversation, come and talk to me on the podcast. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. I've already got one guest sort of being lined up. I just got to sort of set a date and finalise them plans. But we can start to have guests. We can start to talk to each other and start to rekindle that flame. Talking of flames, who saw Germany crash out of the World Cup in flames? And that's a bit of a shock, really, considering they're the reigning champions. But that's the beauty of the World Cup, I suppose. You never know what's going to happen, and that's why I get so excited for it. Like I've said before, I don't like football, but I do get excited for the World Cup. And I am very pleased with the way England are performing. Do things still need to be changed? Maybe some little things, maybe some minor tweaks here and there, but we're doing okay at the moment. We're playing good football when we turn up, that is. But I was just thinking to myself before I come and done this podcast, remembering the last time I saw England sort of get this far. Because where I'm from, Southampton in England, football's a bit of... if you support Southampton, you get let down a lot. If you support England, you get let down a lot. So for me, I just gave up on football because I was just sick of being let down. But I was thinking the last time I saw England do so well, and it's probably World Cup 2002. So we're talking 16 years ago. We lost to Brazil in the quarterfinals, but that... someone can correct me if I'm wrong. By all means, slide into the DMs or get in a comment and let me know. But that is the last time I believe I can remember England making it out of the qualifying stages, the group stages. If I'm wrong, let me know. But, and all the big names this year don't seem to be playing up to the standards they're usually playing at. I don't really see, like Portugal, for example, I don't think are playing great this year. Cristiano Ronaldo's playing great this year, but Portugal are mediocre. He is outstanding, but the team behind him are playing mediocre. So, I think England are in with a very good chance. Just as much of a chance as what everybody is. But, all we can do is just keep doing what they're doing. I think Gareth Southgate is good for England as a manager. And all the time the big names are going, like Germany are being sent home early, then, we're in with a much better chance. And that's all about, it's having a little bit of belief, because belief is a very powerful thing. And I'll tell that to anyone. I tweeted last night that if you tell yourself you can't do something, your brain will believe that, and then your body will just shut down as well as your brain. But if you tell yourself you can do something, you can do this, then your brain and your body will find a way to make it happen. And there's no worse feeling than giving up on something, and then you get that feeling of regret sort of later on. And there's no worse feeling than that. And belief can make that feeling go away. Because if you believe you can do something, you will. Set your mind to it and believe in yourself, and you will absolutely move heaven and earth to make sure you do that. And it could be anything. It could be changing your diet. It could be working hard at your job to get a promotion. It could be getting fitter. It could be getting richer. It could be, saving up to buy your dream car. If you set that goal in your head and you keep going and going and going for it, and you have tunnel vision and you see exactly what is before your eyes, you will make it happen. You need to become, obsessed and driven, because things don't happen for you overnight. Things don't just get handed to you. For some people they do, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, you have to work for everything you want. Nothing worth having in this life comes easy. So, and if you want it, you got to get off your ass and go and get it. No one will do it for you. If you want to lose weight, no one will lose that weight for you. You've got to hit the gym. You've got to hit the road and start running. You've got to eat better. No one will do it for you. Everyone will not do it for you. Everyone will say, don't worry about your diet or going to the gym. Let's go out and have dinner. Let's go and get a pizza. And then, you go out and you eat a load of shitty food, and then you feel bad again. And other people won't, hit your targets for you. You have to work for it. You've got to do it. No one else can do anything you want to do. You have to make things happen for yourself. Donald Trump, for example, okay? Very, very successful businessman. He set himself a vision. He set himself a goal, and he absolutely crushed it. Now, do you know what he's done? He's become the president of the United States, and he is just creating his own space force. Now, I've never seen Star Wars, and you can slate me for that all you want, but I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is trying to create his own Star Wars. Because I was seeing on the news recently that he has ordered the chief of his military, or the chief of defense, to create a space force, because there's a real threat in space. Now, do I believe that? Do I believe there's a real threat in space? I think there's something out in space. Whether it's a threat, I don't know, because I'd like to think if it was a threat, it would have made some sort of contact by now and posed that threat or implicated that threat. But he is fairly convinced, and he's very headstrong about the fact there's something out there. And he is determined to create his own space force to defend America and the world against whatever that may be. And that's crazy. But that is, that's a good insight as to what you can achieve if you have belief. He went from nothing to businessman to president of the United States, which I don't care what anybody says, is sort of president of the world. The most powerful man in the world, you can say. So he's gone to becoming the president of the United States to now being like the chief of the Space Force. And that sounds like something a child would make up. Little Jimmy, who's 5, just down the road. His 5th birthday party, and you say, oh, Jimmy, what do you want to be when you get older? Or what do you want to do for a job? Oh, I want to be in the Space Force. It sounds totally like kindergarten sort of stuff. But Donald Trump's out here doing it. And you know why? Because he can and no one can stop him. That is why. But, getting back to that sort of space stuff, I was sat out in my friend's back garden the other night, and he's just moved into a new house, sort of out in the sticks. And it's so nice to sit outside in the evening out there. Because where we live, in like a busy town, there's so much light pollution and stuff around. You look outside at night and you can see a few stars and stuff, but it's not the same as being out in the country and looking up at the night sky, because it is incredible. There's bats and stuff flying around, the moon's really bright. But it made me think there's got to be more out there. And I was listening to an Eddie Bravo podcast the other day, and Eddie Bravo is, if you don't know him, look him up. He's like the conspiracy guy. He is the most successful paranoid person ever. But he had some very valid points the other day. He is a flat earth enthusiast. He believes we live on a flat earth. But he has some valid points. I personally think flat earth is mental. I think we are very much on a spherical ball. But he was saying about how, everything in the solar system is sort of orbiting everything. We orbit the sun, the moon orbits us, but we only ever see one side of the moon. We've never seen what is known as the dark side of the moon, to my knowledge, anyway. Because I'm not an astrologist, I'm just a sort of a monkey that's been left down on Earth. But what he says does get you thinking, and he sort of was debunking the whole moon landings, with Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, because people they're meant to have left the flag of the United States, the Stars and Stripes, the Star Spangled Banner, on the moon, on like a stake, so it would forever be on the moon. The flag would be forever flying on the moon. But obviously technology advances, and it's advanced a lot since the 60s, and we've got telescopes now that can look onto the moon like you're just looking in your next door neighbour's house, like my neighbour did the other day when he popped his head over the fence. We have got telescopes that can look onto the moon just like that, and no one has seen the flag where they said they left it. And their excuse for that is when they took off, the back thrust and the downdraft from their shuttle knocked it over. And I just think, I sort of, when I hear things like that and I hear them stories and it all goes hand in hand with what conspiracy theorists say, I do start to think about it. I am by no means clever enough to start up any sort of conspiracy theory. I'm literally just a monkey compared to these guys. I just repeat noises that I learn throughout life. So I'm in no position to sort of sit and speculate NASA and did they land on the moon. But I did hear that NASA is actually ran by, or was founded by, one of the head Nazis from World War II. So one of Hitler's right-hand men apparently created NASA. So again, not sure how true that is. I heard that on one of Eddie Bravo's conspiracy theories. But if it is, if it's true, it's a bit of a worry. Essentially we've got a terrorist running, or we had a terrorist who built the organisation which flies us around the Earth's atmosphere. So that's a bit of a worry for everyone, really. But who knows? I'm not one to sit and question anything, really. Maybe I should. Maybe we should question more. Maybe we are being dumbed down. Things like chemtrails and stuff. Do I believe in chemtrails, that the government release chemtrails from aeroplanes? Not sure I believe it, but I know it's possible. That's not even a question to me, because in Saudi Arabia they fly jets up into clouds, and they spray some chemical into the clouds which reacts with the clouds and makes it rain. They can actually make rain in Saudi Arabia. I think it's Saudi Arabia or Dubai or somewhere like that. Somewhere United Arab Emirates, UAE way. They can make it rain. In more than one sense of the saying, because they're rich. They're rich as fuck, so they can make it rain. They can throw dollar bills around, and they can make it rain because they can make precipitation, and that's the word of the week, precipitation. They can make precipitation leak from the clouds by spraying some chemicals around. So when you're capable of doing that, I don't think there's any limit of what you're capable of doing. So one thing I wanted to address, actually, one thing I wanted to talk about, was stuff that I've been seeing more and more of on social media. And it's these, these shitty, silly little challenges that people are doing. I saw one guy the other day, they do like the condom challenge, where they throw, I think they fill a condom up with water and then they drop it on each other's head, but not the metaphorical head, like your actual cranium, your cabaza. I think cabaza is Spanish for head. But they drop it onto your head and it sort of folds in on itself and covers your whole head. And I think people are suffocating from it. And that's dangerous because, I spoke on one of the other podcasts about if you have a voice on social media or you have reach over people and you're doing stupid shit, guess what? The people who watch you and the reach that you have, the recipients of that reach are also going to do stupid shit. And people these days don't need help being stupid. I saw one guy the other day on Facebook covering himself in some sort of flammable liquid. He was in the shower and it was a challenge. He covered himself in flammable liquid and he set himself on fire. And the caption of the video was, "We need to make this shit stop. When's this going to end?" And I personally don't think... Okay, it should stop, for sure. But the people who are willing to try it deserve everything that is coming to them. And they also deserve to delete themselves from the DNA gene pool. They are clearly a weak link to our gene pool if they're willing to do that. If you're willing to set yourself on fire for a challenge for your friends, for likes and subscriptions and shit on social media, if you're willing to set yourself on fire on camera for any other person's entertainment or for any reason whatsoever, really, setting yourself on fire, then you deserve to have your genes removed from the gene pool. You're a weak link as far as I'm concerned. Will it stop? Doubtful. But I don't know what it will take for these morons to stop doing it. Someone will end up dying if someone hasn't died. I'm certain someone would have died doing stupid shit. And that's not saying I haven't done stupid shit in my life, because we all have. But there has to be a line. You can't be setting fire to yourself for fun. You can't really be setting fire to yourself for any reason, but for fun, definitely not. Like, I know it's physically impossible to suffocate yourself or to drown yourself. So, like suicide by, like not self-strangulation, but self-asphyxiation, I suppose it would be. Like suffocating yourself and then drowning yourself or drowning yourself is impossible. And I don't know how it's not impossible to flick that lighter after you've just covered yourself in flammable liquid, because your brain knows what's coming. And this is what makes me think these people are the weak link. Because if I covered myself in flammable liquid, my brain would say to me, or if I was accidentally covered in a flammable liquid, my brain would say to me, first thing, don't go near anything that could ignite this motherfucker, because that will end bad. That'll be a bad day. So for your brain to be able to go to function and say, right, this is, so you're covered in, all this flammable liquid. Next, what we need to do is introduce a naked flame to that. Your brain knows what is about to happen. And the fact that your brain lets it happen suggests to me your brain isn't working correctly. You are a weak link in our chain. So if they have to keep doing that until they delete themselves, so be it. But just don't put it on social media. Don't encourage others to do it. If you want to do stupid shit, you want to hurt yourself, you want to potentially end your life in the name of whatever you think is fun, carry on. I'm not going to stop you. If that's what your brain wants you to do, you and your brain can do that. But just don't influence other people to do it, because there's people out there who don't need much influence, who will just see it and think it's fun, and they will copy that shit and they'll do it again, and then the cycle continues. Like I said, will it change? Probably not. But all we can do is wait for this phase to pass. There'll be another phase. There'll be something else ridiculous that these kids are wanting to do. Fuck, I sound old. I sound like an old man. And I definitely sound like an old man at night times now. You can most definitely ask Hannah about that. I keep her up at night. I think it's where it's so hot at night, and there's There's no air circulation. You know, the air outside is warm, it's hot, it's stuffy. The air in the house is hot, warm and stuffy. And I cough so bad at night. I have coughing fit. We laid there watching TV last night and I was fine. Comes to going to sleep, I'm coughing my guts up. But it's a pathetic cough. It's like one of them tickly throat coughs, and it just will not shift no matter what I do. Last night I was drinking water. I was using hot steam, like breathing in hot steam in the bathroom with a towel over my head in the sink, just trying to sort of shift that cough. And it would not go. And I can feel myself, like I don't know whether over the period of this podcast, my voice has become more like stuffy. I can feel myself getting like stuffy and blocked up. Maybe because I'm sat next to a bunch of flowers and that's that hay fever getting to me again. But night times are killing me at the moment, and I love my sleep. I need to get a minimum of 7 hours just to sort of function properly. I mean, I can function, and I'm fine with less than 7 hours sleep. But optimum sleep for me is between 7 and 9 hours. And I've done so much research on sleep and I didn't realise how important sleep is. Now, I learned that if you go for a major surgery, you are well within your rights to ask your surgeon how much sleep they had the night before. And if they had anything less than 7 hours, you can refuse that surgery because the facts are staggering. If your surgeon has had less than 7 hours sleep, and I may be wrong on this, but I'm 90% sure what I'm about to tell you is true. If your surgeon has had less than 7 hours sleep, you are 170% more at risk of something major going wrong during your surgery. And that is crazy figures. 170%. Now, I'm no mathematician or a surgeon, but I'm pretty sure 170% means something is guaranteed to go wrong if they've had less than 7 hours sleep. Again, I'm not sure how true that is, but Matthew Walker is a professor, I believe, is a doctor in sleep and sleep psychology, and his podcast on the Joe Rogan Experience was an absolute shock to my system. I think I watched or listened to that episode maybe 4 or 5 times in a row just to process exactly what was being said to me. Another fact for you: men who get less than 6 hours sleep have testosterone levels of a man 10 years their senior. So I'll break that down for you in layman's terms. If you're 20 years of age and you're getting on average less than 6 hours sleep a night, which I guarantee 75% of 20-year-olds are doing. I guarantee 75% of 20-year-olds are not getting more than 6 or 7 hours sleep a night. But a 20-year-old who gets less than 6 hours sleep a night will have the testosterone levels of a 30-year-old man, which is pretty scary, really. So that's how, like they say, not sleeping will age you, but it literally will. Sleep is so important. I didn't realise how important it is. So if you want to educate yourself on sleep, then watch that episode. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is. I will find out. But it is staggering. It is a real eye-opener. Joe Rogan Experience, episode 1109 with Matthew Walker. And that is, it's just under 2 hours, that podcast, but to me, it's probably the most valuable 2 hours I've ever had. And that podcast, the whole Joe Rogan Experience has had such an impact on my life because I've learned so much from it. I would go as far as to say I have learned more in the past maybe 18 months to 2 years listening to Joe Rogan's Experience, the Joe Rogan podcast, than I ever did in any of my schooling. Maybe because I'm older now, maybe I want to learn about more things now. I don't know. But I would guarantee, I would 100% say I have learned more listening to Joe Rogan than I have ever in any sort of educational system. But if you have to listen to any of the Joe Rogan episodes, it is that one. Episode 1109 of Matthew Walker is an absolute eye-opener, which is funny because it's about closing your eyes. So, it's a bit of reverse psychology there. It's telling you the importance of keeping your eyes closed, but is in turn an eye-opener. But yeah, very, very interesting. And as I was saying, I'm not getting my 7 hours at the moment because my sleep is very broken because of this old man cough which I have. So yeah, I apologise if I'm sounding a bit more sniffly now than what I did at the beginning because it's getting on for my bedtime because I'm recording this at 10:30 p.m. on Friday, and you probably won't hear it until Saturday. So I apologise if there's the clarity of my voice. I think the word is clarity. If the clarity, so how clear I am, has deteriorated from the start of this podcast. Apologies, but that's that hay fever that's getting me up. It's getting me all worked up again, I believe. Right, let's take a look at some of these news headlines. The first one, which just jumped out at me straight away, is how unprepared we are in the UK for hot weather. Because our train tracks appear to be melting, which is a strange thing to melt. I know, I've seen instances where tarmac is melting, but I've never known train tracks to melt or bend or warp. So apparently that's happening, but it just shows how unprepared we are, I suppose, for the hot weather. I was talking to my friend the other night who owns a restaurant, and he was saying how quiet his restaurant has been recently. Because of the World Cup, but then we both agreed that English people just don't know how to deal with hot weather, and the UK just doesn't know how to deal with hot weather. When it comes to the heat, we tend not to eat. Like we say, it's too hot to eat. So things like restaurants and stuff are taking a bit of a hit, but we're just so unprepared for anything. We can't be prepared for snow, for heat waves or rain, because we flood a lot, which is strange considering we're an island, but we tend to flood. But the thing is, we know this heat is coming. We knew it was coming all along, and we know when the snow is coming. But again, England can't be prepared for anything, and there's a lot of wildfires as well, which you don't really hear of in England, which is a shame. It's an awful shame, but that's happening. And that can't be helped because that's just nature doing its thing. But it just shows you how much we're not used to having this heat. So, and let's hope them fires are extinguished quick because it must be hot for them firefighters out there doing their thing, which they do very well. What else do we have in the news headlines? A smuggler who hid teen boy in a suitcase is jailed. Well, I would hope so. I would definitely hope so. Smuggler who hid boy 16 in suitcase jailed after car had been searched at the port of Dover. Whoa. He was arrested when a Vietnamese child's arm was seen poking out of a bag in the boot of his car. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised he was arrested for that. That is trafficking. That is all sorts of weird fucked up. That is, paedophiling. That is trafficking, grooming. I'm not sure what other laws it comes under. But, yeah, you've been arrested. Don't see how that makes news headlines, to be honest. But it's interesting. You don't think that shit would be happening. But, there you go. That's happening. Maryland gunman barricaded doors and hunted victims. I don't really want to talk about him because he's just a piece of shit and doesn't deserve to be spoken about in any context. So we'll leave that right where that is. What else is happening? Shark. Shark. 5 meter great white shark been spotted off the coast of Mallorca, which is great because I'm going there in 2 weeks. So, probably going to get eaten by a shark now. What would you even do? 5 meters. That is bigger than most houses. Maybe not bigger than most houses, but that is big for a shark. 16.4 feet. You don't expect stuff like that to be happening here. So that is sort of that is what happens on David Attenborough, not sort of in Europe. Europe, we have seagulls and pigeons. We do not have 5-meter great white sharks. And if you ever come across one of them, you just met your maker, really. And apparently, sharks don't even like the taste of humans. They think you're a seal, and when they bite you, they realise you're not a seal. They don't want you anymore. So that's great. If you get bit by the shark, it's not gonna eat you. It's just gonna rip you apart and then just leave you to die. So, avoid sharks really would be one of the most takeaway points from today's episode. If you can avoid sharks where you can, avoid sharks. But hey, I'm going to wrap this bitch up now. I'm going to love you all and I'm going to leave you. Thank you all so much again for stopping by and listening to me talk to myself. As always, likes, shares, subscriptions, tell your auntie, tell your uncle. That's always appreciated. Whatever you're doing the weekend, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're safe. I hope the weather's lovely. I hope you stay motivated for whatever you're doing. Because being motivated is beautiful. It's one of the beautiful things the brain can do. And once you find how to motivate yourself, once you find what motivates you, not a lot will keep you down. So set your goals, set your targets, work hard for them. And I guarantee, with self-belief and a little bit of hard work and dedication and a little bit of obsession and a lot of drive, them targets, them goals will be achieved. So stay motivated, stay positive. If you're going through a hard time, just remember, nothing lasts forever. I know it seems like the road is long right now, but the road will come to an end. There is light at the end of that tunnel. And if you want to talk about anything, let me know. Write into me, let's talk about it. Let's get it all out in the open. Let's talk about shit. Let's get involved in each other's lives. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to love you all. I'm going to leave you all. I'll be back again, maybe same time next week. But for now, enjoy the weather. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy life. Enjoy everything there is out there. Remember, stop to smell the roses. And once again, I'm going to play you out with my favourite motivational song by Bishop Gunn called Shine. Be good to yourself, guys. You deserve it.
I'm just sitting on your front porch, wondering how could I be so far from my home. And my mind is somewhere else, but when I find it, I'll patch up where it's been blown. Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take a little time for me to set that parking brake and let myself unwind. Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song. I will sing it just for you. chained with a heavy load of my past. And these rails that I've been riding on, they're worn so thin that they're damn near gone. I guess that they just weren't built to last. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make sense of what I can, of where I'm going. Oh,